Hi, everybody. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and according to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, or NAMI, 1 in 5 youth and young adults lives with a mental health condition. Yet, there's still stigma associated with a mental health issue or talking about it. So one theme of this May is "You are not alone." So take a moment, ask a friend how they're doing, or open up and share your story. When we hear other people's stories, it helps us to feel less alone. So to honor this idea, we have some staff here at Seaholm that would like to share a bit about themselves with you. We will be sharing one thing that I would like you to know. So I'll start. One thing that I'd like you to know about me is I am a survivor. I had a lot of issues growing up that I was able to eventually overcome. And even so, I have insecurity about many, many things. There's a voice in my head that's often telling me that I'm going to fail or yelling at me that I'm not good enough. And, I live with it on day to day. I've learned how to push through that, to do what I need to do despite of that. And it took me a long time to learn how to pay attention and really make an effort to be nice, be kind to myself, and talk to myself like I would a friend. So that's the one thing I'd like you to know about me. And we're going to go to Mr. Coggle.
Everybody, I'm Mr. Coggle. So one thing I'd like you to know about me is upon entering high school, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. And if anybody knows about that, can be very debilitating. And as a result, the doctor would not sign off on me, and I had to quit playing competitive sports. And if you know me, I love sports. And as a result of that, I ended up getting involved in coaching because I couldn't get away from the sports. So it influenced me to get involved in coaching. And then years later, it led to me becoming a teacher. So I overcame all of that, something that I loved doing that was taken away from me, and turned it into a positive. Now it's still a daily battle for me, and I battle through it every day, but I look at the positives that came out of that situation. Thanks for listening.
Hi there, my name is Lisa Donley, teach health. And one thing I want you to know about me is that it is okay to ask for help, and you are never alone. So I took my own advice, and I am been diagnosed with anxiety, and I now am in therapy. I had a really bad year last year, so it's okay to ask for help, and I feel much better. I love my therapist. And I just feel like you guys need to know that it's okay. It's okay to get help. And I'm thrilled that I did. And I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better. Things are moving in the right direction. So thank you.
Hi, it's Mrs. Whitehead. Love you all. One thing that I would like you to know about me is that I experience major panic attacks while I'm driving long distances. And my first major and really debilitating attack was when I began a trip from Lansing with my car loaded to the top to begin graduate school at the University of Nebraska. And I was a little nervous when the trip started, but once I got into Iowa, I began to experience major anxiety and panic. And what that felt like to me is I felt prickly all over. My vision became blurred. My heart began to just pound. I thought I was going to die. I was sweating, and I truly could no longer see the road to drive. And I immediately pulled over and went into a gas station. I saw this family, and I begged them to let me follow their car into Nebraska if they could let me just follow them through Iowa. I did do that. It was the worst feeling I ever had in my whole life. I got to Nebraska. I did seek medical help immediately. And it's okay to feel those feelings and then suddenly realize, oh my gosh, I have to get help. You know, it's when you feel that, you've got to get help. And I did. I got help. And I have to tell you that I found out from my own situation that it's sort of a family thing. And I'm able to help my siblings and nieces and nephews because a few of them have suffered from the same thing. And I'm so grateful for doctors and therapists. And if you reach out, they're there to help you so much. And I guess that's why I'm very empathetic about students that experience this. Um, and yes, my husband does all the long distance driving. So you don't have to worry about seeing me on the road. Thank you.
Hey, everybody, Mr. Romano, one of the counselors, and I guess I wanted to talk a little bit about my high school experience. You know, for me, high school was the best of times. It was the worst of times, right? And, you know, there's a lot that goes back to high school that we still kind of think about. But for me, it took me a long time to realize that my high school years didn't define me. You know, that it wasn't my ACT score that defined me or my GPA or where I went to college would define me. It took me a long time to figure that out. It was something I struggled with for a long time, you know, who I was versus, you know, what I did and trying to find the balance in that. In fact, I'm still working on that. I think to some degree we all are, right? Trying to figure out, you know, who we are and what's our place in this world. And I think, you know, you look around and you see these adults and they look like they've got it all together, and a lot of them do and some of them don't. So, you know, if that's something that you're struggling with, you know, trying to figure out who you are, what's your place in the world, talk to somebody about that. I think you'll be really glad that you did. You'll find out you are not alone in this, and there's going to be a lot of help and a lot of support for you when you do. So that's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
Hi, I'm Rochelle Rogers, and one of the things that I wanted you guys to know is that it's okay to get overwhelmed, that almost all people, I think, have some type of anxiety. I certainly do. But one of the things that I wanted to share with kids is something that I talk to all my students in my mindfulness academic lab and with all my kids and probably my friends in general, is that we can, when we're starting to feel overwhelmed, you can nip this in the bud. And I think it's so important that just by keeping on top of things and straightening up your area and cleaning out your car and getting things done off your checklist and really practicing a little bit of self-care by snuggling in, getting a really good night's sleep, taking a shower, you know, making sure that you're on top of your game and really getting all your stuff caught up, you can stop that panic and that overwhelming feeling. And I think that's so important. And more often than not, you guys would be surprised how many kids text me on a Friday or Saturday night and they say that they're snuggled in and they've taken a hot shower and they put clean sheets on their bed and that they're getting ready to go to bed early. And it's okay sometimes to say that you don't want to go out or that you just really, really need to practice some self-care. So I'm wishing that for all of you, that when you're feeling overwhelmed, please, please just snuggle in and have a cup of tea and think of me.
Hi, I'm Lissa Bach, and I wanted to share with you students a little bit about my high school experience as well. And that was a long, long time ago. But I would agree with Mr. Romano that it was the best of times, and in some ways it was the worst of times. I was a child that moved around a lot. So in 12 years, I went to 9 different schools. And in that, that was really difficult. It was really challenging. But I feel that I learned some really important things that I still try to practice today. And one thing is, I don't know how long I have to get to know you. So I'm going to try to get to know you pretty quickly. And for some people, that's kind of like, wow, she asks way too many questions, or she seems a little bit intense. But I think that one of the ways to feel that you belong, whether you've been at Seaholm for a year, whether you've never stepped foot in the building yet because you're a freshman, is to learn to ask questions and to learn to be a good listener. And I was very intentional about that. I started to watch people and learn how they got to know people, what kind of questions they asked, and how to really listen. And I love to listen to, I love teenagers, and I've worked with teenagers my entire adult life, actually for over 30 years. And so if you need someone to listen, I'm in room A103 and I'll make a time for you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mr. Adams, math teacher and coach in the building. One thing I'd like for you to know about me is that, you know, if you've had me in class or you've had me on the field, or if you've seen me in the hallways, I'm very passionate about what I do. At times, that passion is what drives us all forward. And just like you all this year, it's been a tough year for a lot of my passions. The football season was a strange one. The start of school and the entire school year has been strange, especially for a teacher that loves to make connections and meet you students. It's been a little rocky in terms of my passions this year. But just like any other thing in life, there's going to be some adversity, right? And I keep trying to tell myself to give myself some grace. You might not be the world's best online teacher or hybrid virtual teacher this year. You might not be the world's best football coach last fall. It's okay to put everything you have and all your effort in your passions and still not be the best at them, right? It's the journey that's important. So for a lot of you students that have struggled through this year or struggled to really feel great about the pursuit of your passions this year, stick with it. There's always brighter days. When you come out the other side, you'll be a better person for it. So keep your head up.
Bonjour, Madame Marx here. There are a few things I wish you knew about me. One thing is that even though I try to stay positive and energetic for my students and the people who depend on me, sometimes life is really hard and I need people I can lean on too. I really do realize that this can be true for you too. So please reach out if you ever need support or are feeling stressed and scared about things. Another thing I wish you knew about me is that I lost my nephew to suicide last January. So many people are devastated now because we never knew that he needed help. We were never given the opportunity to help him through all of his struggles. We didn't know he was struggling. So please reach out to us or a loved one when life becomes dark, because it does sometimes. You matter, we care, and we are here to help. Just give us a chance.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Slayton. I teach in the business department. And all the things that Miss Whitehead described have been happening to me for like the last 10 minutes as people speak. So one thing I wish you knew about me, and some of my students know because I share it with them, I have a major public speaking anxiety. So you can probably hear my heartbeat. I'm sweating and this is a small group. So it's been since I was in college that it wasn't a thing for me in high school. It didn't bother me, but I get really nervous and I get all the anxiety pieces. And it stopped me from applying for certain jobs. It has stopped me from saying wonderful things about students I care about at award ceremonies. You can hear it in my voice, I'm nervous. So sometimes you have to push through it. Like right now, and Miss Wilson says, will you do this for me? I say, yes, I will. But in my classes, I try to recognize that because I know it's not easy. In front of students, I'm not really terrified. But I know that a lot are, so I try to break things into small pieces for them. When I know there's a big presentation coming, we do like mini speaking things because it gets easier. Sometimes I'm still really nervous. So just, know that you can do hard things. And sometimes, you can do those through those moments where you feel completely panicked. And sometimes you just make other plans. You don't not show up, but you find an alternative. You talk to those teachers and you talk to them about that anxiety and what you're going through. And we can always make compromises. So know that we're here and, we don't want to push you to do things that really cause you undue stress.
I'm Mr. Wicker. You guys might know me as one of your two favorite assistant principals. And this is going to shock you, but I was not very popular in high school, and I was bullied in high school and middle school. And one of the major things that really got through it for me was I don't want to say leaned in, but I really embraced what people were giving me a hard time about. So, and when I was more the genuine person who I am, things got a lot better for me. Because when you tried to hide those things and deny the things the kids were bullying me about, then they had the power over you and they watched you squirm. And it was really difficult for you to deal with that, or me, I should say. But once I kind of just accepted saying, yeah, that's who I am. These are the things I like. and you're not going to be able to hurt me with those things, then eventually they left me alone, and I was still not popular, but I was not necessarily bullied. And I would like to say that, if you are afraid to be your genuine self, I think you're doing yourself a larger disservice, because it is worse to dislike yourself or hate yourself for the things that you like than just to embrace it and let people know, this is who I am, this is what I believe in. And that genuine self is what is really important.
Hi, everyone. I'm Miss Moten, and I teach in the English department, and I am the interim English department chair right now. And I guess the one thing that I want you to know about me is that I'm actually an introvert. So I have a job that sort of forces me to be extroverted all the time. And I try really hard to talk to people and to be friendly, because I'm not a shy introvert. I really do enjoy talking to all of you, and I enjoy talking to my colleagues. But the fact of the matter is, I have an extremely small social battery. And if you give me a choice, most of the time, I'd much rather be at home reading a book or listening to music and just being with my dog. So I guess what I want to tell you is, you're not weird if you are introverted on a Friday night or Saturday night. You just don't want to be with the crowd. Then do that for yourself and take care of yourself and embrace who you are, no matter what it is.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mrs. Hall, and I'm the principal here at Seaholm High School. And one thing I wish you knew now, and I think you know a little bit more maybe after this video, one thing I wish you knew about Seaholm's faculty is that we were all teenagers at one time. It might have been a long time ago, but we were all teenagers. And we know what it's like, because even though the styles have changed, our clothing might have changed and come back again, okay, even though all those things might have happened, we know what it's like. We all felt nervous. We were often overwhelmed. We were lonely on occasion, okay? We were happy on occasion, all right? More than one, hopefully. But we experienced all those same emotions, even though it was in a different time. And we got through it. And not only got through it, but then we willingly made the decision to spend the rest of our lives every day in a high school, okay? And in large part, we made that decision and we got through those difficult times because of our own teachers. One of them gave us the confidence to keep going, even in difficult times. And I guess this video hopes that you will understand now that you can reach out to a teacher, a counselor, an administrator, or another adult and connect to you when life gets overwhelming, when you're sad and nervous and lonely. We are here for you. We care about you. If you are struggling, please let us help. Just reach out to any one of us. And now I'm going to turn it back over to Mrs. Wilson, and she's going to wrap it up.
So I hope everybody got to learn a little something. I think it can be really scary opening up and sharing something about yourself, but usually after you do it, it feels good. And if you're on the receiving end, and if someone opens up to you, what a great feeling knowing that someone I know trusts me enough to be real with me. So I hope you got a little something out of this video. I hope you'll consider sharing something about yourself. Your teacher's going to show you something on the screen that's going to list some things that may indicate you or somebody you know might need a little support, and also a few resources. So don't hesitate to see me, a counselor, a teacher, any staff member, if you'd ever like to talk. I think it could help you feel better, and I think it'll be welcomed. I do think it feels really good to share our stories. So happy May, and I hope maybe we can decrease the stigma around mental health. We're all going through something or have been through something, but we're better together. So thank you for listening.